This one's kind of a bummer that you didn't get to see the sweat. Um, we have a lot of issues with losing connection with NinjaTrader, and then sometimes if I lose connection with NinjaTrader and I don't have and I minimize my VPS window, then I lose it completely in OBS, so it's completely blacked out. But you can't see it here, but you see my entry. That's not a that is a limit entry, but it's not a limit entry that I just entered now, or a stop sell that I just entered now as it was going down. I actually was a limit entry, um, right on the retest of 10 MA. So what happened is we went under 10 MA, and I waited for it to actually uh, to open under 10 MA and confirm that. Um, and as soon as I entered on that limit entry, it just jumped way up and got very close to my stop, um, which is pretty interesting. But it's like I say it with me: never trust the long if you're under 10 MA. Same happens with VWAP. So whoever went long on that got completely trapped, and all they had to do was figure out that they were under 10 MA the whole time. So thankfully, it went started going south here. We went kind of balls deep, and that was I don't know, maybe reckless on my side, but it was more of a I had a different setup originally, kind of same situation, but except I was trying to catch it up top. So basically, where my stop is at this moment, I had a limit sell, and I wanted to catch that all the way back down to the bottom. It never reached. So, but I wanted to catch it with 10 micros. Um, and then, but again, the idea with with the 10 micros is that then I can kind of scale out. It's what I'm thinking instead of going one mini. Um, but yeah, this ends up playing out well here. I take those 10, I put an ad under the break of structure, which is basically confirmation that we're going to be going south. It's a lot cleaner if you watch the video from Wednesday. It's a lot cleaner than Wednesday's trade. Um, Mainly because we are breaking structure like on Wednesday's trade, but we are not breaking into new lows for the day. So we have kind of that space to just retest those lows. Um, and yeah, that's what ends up we end up doing here. And these are a lot of things happen here mentally. It's one of those things where I'm glad that it's on video because I get to kind of uh, talk about my emotions in this situation. But when you're up $1,400, $1,500 on a Friday, it's your first thought shouldn't be add. Should probably be take some profit. Probably take half of that. Probably what I should have done. um, but at the same time, it's one of those situations. If you notice on my trades recently, I've been trading lower amounts and 5 micros here and there, and making 400 here and there. So my usual amount is not uh, my usual earnings per trade is definitely not as high as it usually is. So every now and then you kind of if you feel you have kind of the momentum on your side, and you feel pretty confident about your trade. I'd rather just not touch anything except my stop loss, which you can tell I moved to break even earlier. And then I moved to break even over here. You add, man, you don't want to be caught in that situation when it goes against you. And now you're two minis, or 20 micros here, going all the way up. You add it. So now you are, your responsibility is to make sure that does not go against you. And that is the risk you take for adding, is the fact that you have to, uh, you have to, be okay with not making any money because you add it. So it's one of those, it's a 50-50 chance. You're either going to make more money or you're going to about to break even here, but you don't want it to go against you. And it's that risk you take when you decide to add. And a lot of times, honestly, I'd probably say 60% of the time, when I add, I I tend to wish I didn't add because, and it's not because it doesn't work out 60% of the time. It's because when you add, you increase that risk, and you get a lot more nervous. And at this moment, you're thinking, man, I am up. What is that? 1600. Do I really want to uh, let this go to break even? When in reality, and I'm up 1600 in the first 10 micros, so I could have left it the way it was, and I didn't have to be nervous about it, and just kept my break even way higher instead of the average down area. Excuse me, I'm still under the weather. Thankfully, um, we continue to go down. These are the important moments here. There's two things that I'm looking at here and why I'm feeling confident about not even doing kind of the same thing I did on Wednesday, where I put my stop loss right under that ad so that I don't lose money because of the ad. One thing is we're not at a new 15-minute candle yet. Uh, and that's kind of probably the most important one. If we were about to open a new 15-minute candle, I would have changed that position. I would have changed that stop loss pretty quick, considering that usually we get that big bounce in the 15-minute. The other situation is that we ended up opening under that break of structure. So I think at this moment we are going to continue to have buyers or bulls giving up and stop out versus the one, I'm sure there was some that were hoping that we can get back above that structure, which is those two wicks you see there, and then rally back up. So those two things kind of kept me from moving anything really. And if this was turning, and I'm not sure exactly really, I don't remember exactly what happens here, but if this was turning um, into a new candle here. So if we were going to wait 5 minutes in here, then that stop loss needed to be moved to that top of that 5 minute candle. Thankfully, that does not happen. So, there it is. It's funny how when you put it's 20 micros and it actually they all not all of them cover. Now I don't know if that has to do with the fact that this is a that's a where my master account here is a live account, so it's not like a regular uh I guess sim funded where everything triggers immediately. So you could tell there that it's actually selling those those micros. It was interesting. If it was just minis, it would have finished pretty quick. Anyways, that was it. That was today. I didn't cut it. That's 8 minutes of just me rambling. That's Friday.